With that, we recognize the chairman of the subcommittee and a doggedly determined individual to get to the bottom of this, Mr. Chaffetz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Nordstrom, as we spoke before, and I think is clear in the record, you were asking for more personnel, and that was either rejected or denied or just simply ignored, correct?
Actually, to clarify, we were asking just to keep what we had.
And when you weren't able to just even keep what you had, what happened to your pay and the other security officers on the ground?
I'm sorry.
As I recall, what you told me is when that was denied, you were given a pay increase. They increased your pay. Correct?
Okay. What I think you're referring to is the increase in danger pay for post. As part of normal procedures, we are asked for input at post. As part of that process, would provide information on security.
To clarify, you were asking for more assets, more resources, more personnel. That was denied, but the State Department went back and reclassified it as more dangerous. The danger pay therefore increased. They didn't tell you that we didn't have resources, hey, that Congress just cut your budget. They gave you an increase because the danger was rising, correct?
That's correct. We received a danger pay increase.
Did the buildings in Benghazi meet the so-called Inman standards? After the bombings in Beirut, we went back as a government, formalized some minimum standards. Did they or did they not meet those minimum standards?
Neither the buildings in Benghazi nor the buildings in Tripoli met those standards, nor was there a plan for the next phase of construction, what was called the interim embassy. Would they meet the standards either? That interim embassy was scheduled to be on the ground for approximately 10 years. That was a major cause of concern, and that was the main physical security issue that we continued to raise.
Thank you. And Mr. Chairman, I would point to an August 20 cable that UN officials believe that the Supreme Security Council is, quote, fading away, unquote, unwilling to take on, quote, anyone with powerful patrons or from powerful tribes, end quote. This cable back to Washington, D.C. also said that incidents continue in this security vacuum, as they refer to it, in Benghazi. Mr. Chairman, I would also point to September 4th. In their memo, they highlighted the September 1st, quote, maximum alert. A maximum alert, September 1st. This was the information that was coming. And what's infuriating is that we have hundreds of terrorist types of activities. Our consulate is bombed twice. The British ambassador has an assassination attempt. And you're over here arguing about whether the number was 5 or 2 or 5 or 3. And the security experts who actually even been to Libya didn't get the resources that they asked for. Colonel Wood, did you participate in any way, shape, or form in requests for additional personnel in Libya, and what was the consequence of those requests?
Yes, sir, I did. I assisted Eric Nordstrom in preparation of the requests for support in as much as they dealt with SST support. I reviewed some of those documents and assisted in the preparation of those. I'd like to add also that there was frustration from the beginning. The initial, or perhaps it was the second request for extension that occurred in April 5th. Ambassador Chaffetz encountered some difficulty in understanding what was going on. He was getting conflicting signals from DOD and DOS. I got him together with General Ham. They worked out a complete understanding. And General Ham made it very clear to Ambassador Chaffetz that he could have the SST as long as he needed them. This was a great interagency cooperation, and that was made very clear to him. It was also made clear to Jean Polishek, who took over as Chargé d'Affaires in between Ambassador Chaffetz and Ambassador Stevens. He came personally and told her that. He also had a VTC with Ambassador Stevens and reiterated that same point, that the SST was his as long as he needed them. All he had to do was request them, and General Ham was perfectly willing to provide that support.
Mr. Nordstrom, did you ever specifically ask Charlene Lamb, or did she ever specifically direct you not to ask for additional DOD SST extension?
I recall 2 specific phone calls, one in the February time frame, one in the July time frame. I had the opportunity to refresh my recollection on one of those phone calls by talking to the two agents who happened to be present in the living room of the ambassador's residence, which is where we used as our office. In those conversations, I recall that I was specifically told, you cannot request an SST extension. How I interpreted that was that there was going to be too much political cost, or for some reason there was hesitancy on that. In the first case in February, the ambassador and DCM and I all felt strongly about the need for that, and we went ahead and requested it anyway.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.